there she is. Uh-oh, the charger says red. That is not good. Not good, guys. All right, what's going on here? Ground fault check connection. Welcome back to the Tesla, guys. Welcome back to the vlog. And today's Sunday. Today's Sunday, and we're going to do the part 2 for the V9 software update. So I know I showed you guys a lot of, I guess I read through what was part of the update. I'm gonna put my password in there to get the car on. Anyways, so we are pretty much fully charged, 247 miles. So you guys, the beauty of having an electric car is that you don't have to pay for a reserved space. You just get a general parking spot, and then you get to park in the electric chargers, which are right next to the elevators on the first floor. So that's a win in my book. I have to go return this box to FiOS, so I figure might as well record a couple things about the V9 software update. So let's roll. Alright guys, so just a little general overview. V9 for the most part, not too much is different. The appearance looks different, but as far as my car goes, I guess there's not really too many new features that I'm using on a day-to-day basis that I notice. I think the biggest thing for me is quite simply that, well, I'll get into it in just a second, but sort of the way all of the controls appear on, you know, the main screen. In V9, I haven't noticed anything that has changed as far as like the driver's dash. At least nothing big. So I think that's pretty much all still the same. So yeah, I guess let's get into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is the nav. Alright, I think you guys should be able to see everything, but let's talk about the nav. So the way I have it set up on my car is we have nav here, and then there's also a little area for nav up here, that one. Alright, so now you can see Verizon's up here navigating.
Now turn left onto Wisconsin Avenue.
Now watch when I start moving, it spins around in multiple directions. See how it spins around and then circles back? It does that every time I come to a stop. So I think that's actually a bug in the V9 nav. This screen will like spin in circles. See? It like spins around unnecessarily. It like goes left, right, not as much that time. All right, not as bad that time. Sometimes it literally does like 2 full 360-degree circles in both directions before figuring out that, oh, we're still just going straight. So I don't know what that is a result of. Maybe it is truly just a bug and they just have to push a little fix for that. It doesn't really bother me because it's not like the nav like switches and thinks you're somewhere else. This one's usually fine. This one right here though does that wonky thing where it spins around all sorts of directions. So yeah, there's that. That's the first thing. So there was a nav update. I know that over here this looks different too. So the way they have this screen set up now is it's basically like a giant nav screen, and then when you have your apps, like, so this is the new app launcher. Instead of having all your apps located at the top, you have this app launcher. So if I tap that, it has that nav bar that used to be at the top of the Tesla screen. So now there's nothing up there. So these are the exact same things that used to be up there for the most part. And if you come down here, for example, and tap on like website. So what's gonna happen now is this is almost like an overlay on top of the nav screen. And the reason I say overlay is because you can see around the edges, you can subtly see the actual like nav screen in the background there. Also, you can make this a little bit bigger, so when you go to type, the keyboard pops up. Let's see if we can. I'll explore this more, but you can swipe it down and it goes away, and then you get the music automatically to pop up at the bottom. This is the new like mini player. Now there's a little gray bar here, which means you can either drag it or tap it. So if you tap it, it comes up and it's a slightly larger player. If you tap it again, it gets bigger and you can see all of these options with a side menu. So the, what's it called? The styling looks a little bit different and the layout also looks different. Now if we tap it again, it goes back to that mode, and the only way to actually go back to that mini player is to swipe it down at that point. So now you just have this mini player with a nice large nav screen above it, which is pretty nice. I do like this. Also, the nav, instead of having to like scroll through these things, you can drag this down or not. Okay, so now with the nav, because it's this giant screen, all right, so now that she's done talking, so with the nav, you now have this giant screen. You can basically see all of the route, the total route on the screen, and it gives you a list of everything. If you just drag this, you can make that smaller, and then it re-renders the screen, so you're seeing a more immediate view, and you can see, I guess, more easily see like where the turns are and whatnot. This is very confusing because it wants me to make a U-turn and then take another U-turn to get onto like 495 or something, but either way, I have my mini view over here, which I like. So usually I'll just leave this on a longer screen and I can sort of get a better overview. And then I have my smaller screen on my driver's dash so I can see things there. So that's sort of an update with V9 as well, the way that the nav is laid out. One other thing to note is while I'm driving, the Tesla Easter eggs, when you tap the Tesla T and this comes up and you drag this down, you have access to all of the Easter eggs, except you can see that Atari is slightly like grayed out. They made it a little translucent, basically saying like, hey, don't play games while you're driving, which, you know, makes perfect sense. You don't want people playing a video game on their main screen while they're driving. All right, guys, so the new screen, like I was saying, you can kind of see how like the navigation, I was gonna say nav, but the navigation screen is behind this still. So you can pull this down, you can actually fully get rid of this. And then the giant screen is basically just, you know, a map. But if you do want to bring up the music again, you can come into here. These are all of your apps. But yeah, music has its own icon now, I forgot about that. Because the music operates a little bit differently than the rest of the apps, because they know that sort of the music is the default thing. So when you have it up, it'll be up there and you can see everything, and it has this mini player that will stay up while this is open. Whereas if you open up another app like, let's open up charging. So charging, as you can see, it's sort of it hovers over the nav. As you can still see, there's still this line of the nav underneath. And just the styling looks a little bit different. So, you know, different font, different toggles, but it's still the same set. And then you can see the animation. When you close this, it goes away, but the music pops back up. So one more time, I'll show you that one more time. If you close this, it goes down and then the music automatically comes back up. So the music will stay there. Back to this. So as I said, there's no more apps at the top. All the apps are on this app launcher button. And then also, you can now swipe up from this. So you can just go like this and it will open up the last thing that you use. So if energy was the last thing you were looking at, that will come up when you swipe up. If you were to tap this, go to web, and then let's see if we can get Google to load so it's not just a white screen. I don't know why. I think I've been having some troubles with the internet as well. I don't think I've had this screen load. And as you can see, I do have 3G connection. So 3G is full bars right now. I obviously don't have Wi-Fi where I am at the moment, but I don't know why this isn't loading. As you notice, it shifts up a little bit when the keyboard comes out, and then when the keyboard goes away, it doesn't. I don't know why the internet's not working. Maybe this is another bug with V9. If I swipe that away, if I swipe up now, you'll notice that the internet supposedly is what comes up. And you can also just tap the music to get music back. You can, those are my seat heaters. And then this just pops up on top of the music. So it's just sort of a new interface. They've gotten rid of the bar at the top and the bar at the bottom. Everything is down here now. Now that I've gotten used to it, I actually do really like this setup. I think it's great. It's not just half the screen or all the screen. You have nav now, which is all the screen with this little bit of an overlay for the mini player. So it is kind of nice. Next thing, the AC controls. So you can change the temperature here, sync it or unsync it. So now you have two controls, one for the driver, one for the passenger. If you resync it, it goes back to one. If you tap the fan, you get more of the climate controls. So this is also set up a little bit differently. You still have the same basic buttons, very easy to use, very easy to see. You can set it to auto. This will automatically increase the fan speed and whatever based on the temperature that you have set. And then you obviously just have a power button, turn everything off. It grays out the temperature if you turn it off. If I tap a button, notice how it re-illuminates, and that just means that the AC is back on. Yeah, so this is the new climate control. Very intuitive, very easy to use. You have seat heaters always available. So this is for the passenger seat, this is for the driver's seat. If I want to do the rear seats, I still have to go into here, which we will in just a second. So you can turn these back off. Defrosters for both windows, and then obviously your music controls. This is paused right now, just copyright stuff, you know how it is. All right, yeah, so there's that. Let's dive into the new controls now. So if you go into here, this does look a little bit different. As I mentioned, there is now this quick controls. So this is still very similar. This was sort of the main screen that was always at the bottom. Now there's just a quick controls, and this is what it is. It's to control your car. You have all of your exterior lights up here. I just leave it set to auto. It's easiest. But obviously you can turn your lights on, you can turn your parking lights on, or you can turn your lights off. Very intuitive, very easy. And then front fog lights, I have those on. I don't know, I like those. Lock and unlock the car, open your frunk, open your trunk, open the charge port. You have the sunroof, which you can open. It automatically goes to 75 when you hit it. You can also just stop it right there, and I want to say, all right, cool. That's exactly where I like it. Sunroof is now open, and then you can just tap close. It will start shutting. Bada bing, bada boom. You can also vent it. Very cool. So this is the new quick controls. Obviously you do have the display brightness down here, which you can play with a little bit. I leave it set to auto. I think Tesla's software does a good job as to updating the brightness based on the time of day. Still, you know, the same screens as you had before. You have your suspension screen, looks pretty much exactly the same as the old one. You can set your ride height, you can auto adjust your speed. You have your lights, so this is similar. Quick controls has the lights. The idea is that anything you might need to control the car, you easily have access to right here. But if you go to the dedicated lights, you do have a little bit more, including the interior lights. And then up here, there's these toggles for daytime running lights to stay on, and headlights after exit. I actually don't know exactly what that means. Maybe they stay on for a second after you leave and then they turn off, rather than just turning off right away. I don't know, maybe something like that. Maybe it's good if you don't have like lights outside your house, you're getting home late at night, your headlights will stay on for a second when you lock your car, and then will eventually turn off. Not 100% on that, but cool. Then you still have, you know, driving. They added this acceleration mode. I actually haven't tried driving in chill mode. I do love the acceleration on this car, so I leave it in standard, but there's a new chill acceleration mode in the P85, and I assume that it's probably more like the 85D or the 85 kilowatt hour Tesla, and then standard, because I have a P85, that's what gives me that little extra boost. All right, so if you put the car into chill mode, it says chill on the speedometer area, and if you go to accelerate, I wouldn't say that's really chill. I don't know, it still seems pretty quick. That's not very chill. What? I'm a little confused. Not sure if chill does anything in my P85. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's like they added the button and it changed the driver's dash, but that's still pretty quick. Not really noticing much of a difference in acceleration. I mean, I'll tell you what. You floor it still moves, so if that's chill, I don't know. I don't think it's any different than standard. All right, ready? So we're cruising at like 50 miles an hour, and I mean, that's not very chill. All right, I'm gonna put it back into standard mode. So in standard mode, there's just nothing up there that says chill. Normally it says chill like right above where it says 47. This is standard. is still wicked fast. I don't know. I don't think chill does anything in my car. I don't know if that's another potential bug, or I don't know. Then we have steering mode, which is just sort of how easy it is to, or let's see, how responsive it is sort of when you turn the steering wheel. How much input do you get back? I leave it in sport. I like it to be a little bit more sensitive. Regenerative braking, I leave that on standard. Traction control, all the same stuff. Creep mode, range mode. Then you have the vehicle things. These are just options you can turn on and off. So that's sort of how I have my car set up. The display, same stuff. Display mode set to auto, so it'll switch between night mode, just makes it black, and then day mode, obviously white. So, and then as you can see, the brightness automatically goes up because it's late outside, and it is set to auto. If I just go back to auto, that's usually what I leave it at. We're in America. I'm used to miles and Fahrenheit, so that's what I keep it on. Trips. I've actually never used this. I don't know why I haven't. I should have used this when I was looking at the fuel, or not the fuel efficiency, just the battery efficiency in the car when I was doing road trips. The navigation, you can change these things. Like I said, this is now an option. Use HOV lanes. That's a new nav function. I don't know if avoid ferries was there before or not. I know avoid tolls was. That is fantastic. Oops. And it defaults to quick controls. That's kind of the point of quick controls. And then safety and security, speed limit mode, so you can limit the speed. So you had like a kid driving it, whatever. Now the other interesting thing is valet mode. It's not part of V9, but if you come up here, this driver profile, I can actually put it into valet mode, and it will limit the fact that you can't use the nav. It limits the car to, I believe, 80 kilowatts of power and 70 miles an hour. Valet mode. It's gonna ask me for my PIN. Press allow. Now, see how there's nothing to navigate? Normally there's a button up here to like search for things. So you can't search to navigate anywhere. You can still see the screen, but you can't navigate anywhere. Over here, it says valet. You can see that the speed only goes up, it does go up to 70 miles an hour, I believe, but the rest is grayed out. And then same thing with this, the power goes up to 80 and then the rest is grayed out. So it limits everything so that people aren't, you know, going crazy in your car. Probably more helpful if you had a P100D. Just kind of a cool feature. I don't know if you can go into here. I guess you can still change some of these things even when you're in valet mode. That is interesting, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Either way, it limits some things. Also, the glove box, this is the glove box button. That's the glove box. If valet mode is on, it locks this. So you can't get into the glove box. So if you ever want to lock something in your Tesla, put it in there, put it in valet mode. You can't get into here until you come in here, and you have to enter a 4-digit PIN to turn valet mode off. You can then disable it, and then when I come over here and tap this, it opens your glove box. It's kind of a cool thing. But anyways, back to V9. That's most of what I've noticed. V9 is more, I guess, more elaborate in the newer cars that have autopilot. It now has the ability to do like a front-facing dash cam recording in there, and you can just you basically just plug stuff into these USB ports right down here. There's 2 USB ports. You put a USB stick in there, you can have continuous recording from the front-facing camera. Well, honestly, that's pretty sweet. So I don't have that, unfortunately. I also don't have any way of doing autonomous driving in this car. It just doesn't have the hardware, and by hardware I mean the physical sensors and cameras that the newer cars, either in late 2014 or 15, I don't know when they started, but either way, I don't have the hardware necessary, so I can't actually even do a software update to start doing the autonomous driving, unfortunately. So right now, I just have fun in my standard accelerating P85. I know I said it was Sunday in the beginning of this video, but ran into some technical difficulties. You see, what happened was I completely forgot to film a couple things on V9 for the part 2 video, which is this video, and then my laptop died and my charger at home like broke, so I had to order another one on Amazon. I didn't get that for a couple days, and as I was editing I realized I forgot stuff, and I didn't edit the video until Tuesday, and that's when I realized I needed more stuff, but then my cable died, and it's a long story. But anyways, the rest of V9, this is it. So oh, we got another software update. Maybe this is for the nav. Anyways, we'll get on this later. So there actually is some stuff that's different up here, and the thing that is different is that. And by that, I mean that the way things look are a little bit different than the old interface. So it's really just like a visualization. So really on the driver's dash, like I did say, nothing much has changed. But I forgot to show you guys Atari, the best part of the update of my car, because, well, I don't have all the hardware for autonomous driving. So Atari it is. I gotta settle for Atari. So here's how you get to Atari. You hit the little Tesla button. You get your nice Model S right up here. Oh yeah, there we go. These are the goodies. So you just tap Atari. You wait for it to load for a second, and boom. Atari, guys. Missile command. Whoa. Alright, I know this isn't the best angle, but it was really the only way I could get the steering wheel, which is, well, only one side of it, and then the actual game, because, well, you use the steering wheel controls as my understanding as to how you sort of control the game. I don't know how to hold I got my phone right here doing the light, and I don't know how to, I don't know where to, nope, that's gonna be terrible. Maybe I can put it in here. Oh, you can see it in that thing. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez. Is that better? No, not really. Ah, jeez. Ah, jeez, a whiz. I don't know what to do with this thing. That's not great. Do lights and dome lights. Does that help a little bit? Yeah, that helps a little bit. Let's check out missile command. So if you hit start, ooh, we get some sound effects. How do you move?
Let's go.
Oh God. I don't know how to play this game. Jeez. Oh, I think I died.
Start your engines.
I think I died. Let's get a refund. Go to Centipede. This is Centipede.
Okay, we'll do this when I get back.
Whoa. Whoa! Is this me playing? Oh, I am playing. Ah, I see now. Let's try Lunar Lander. Select option. What are the options? I don't know what the options are. You get that nice little boop when you hit start. Ah. Whoa. Oh, this is where you can use this thing, I think. Maybe not. Ooh, you can use the scroll wheels. I'll tell you what, I am very confused right now. Alright, let's go to the last game, Asteroids. I had to run to the grocery store, sorry about that. But anyways, that's pretty much it as far as V9. The Atari games, I'm still not fully getting exactly how the steering wheel controls work. I don't know, I tried playing, what's it called, Asteroids, and like, it doesn't really, it like, oh, now it's working better, actually. Huh. You have the little guy right in the middle, you got the asteroids moving around, and, well, you can use these things, I think, to, like, spin the thing. Yep, there he goes. He spins nicely, and you shoot. Do you shoot with some of these? You shoot with one of these. I'm not too good at it. I haven't played it much, I'll be honest. But yeah, so that's Atari. I guess right now they just have these 4 games. Yeah, so that's that. I think that's pretty much all there is to show in V9. The wonky nav that's in the driver's dash. You get a little bit of, I guess, restyling of the controls with quick controls. You now have the media player down here along with the sort of quick launcher. Oh, and I am curious, now that we're like this. So this is obviously night mode. Let me actually put it into day mode because, well, I think it's kind of harder to see this. What is it? Display. Day mode. It's a little bit easier, I think, for you guys to see, especially at night when it is dark in the car. So you have your launcher here, obviously. This is the radio, the mini control radio, the regular one, and then you have the larger display. But remember how the Safari wasn't working earlier on in the video? Well, if you hit web, maybe it's, yep, you know what? I think they disable it while you're driving now. So that is actually very interesting. So right now I'm in park up here, and you can see YouTube down here. Now if I put the car into drive, it automatically switched back to music, and if I swipe up from here, okay, it works. So I am in drive and it works. What if I refresh? See, nothing happens when I refresh. What if I go to google.com and hit enter? Oh, it's working now. So I don't know what happened the other day, but apparently Google is working. All right, well, yeah, I guess that's it for V9. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think I covered most of the stuff. I think there's probably more on cars that have the autopilot software things. I don't have the hardware, so I don't get a lot of those updates. But anyways, you know, get Atari, get a new interface. I do like the new interface. It is kind of nice once you get used to it, especially. You just have like a smaller view and a larger map or nav to look at, which is pretty nice while driving, while getting directions. And you know, you don't have two apps taking up half the screen or one app taking up full screen. Now you get nav, which is, I guess, technically probably always in the background, and then you sort of get these and then you get like this almost full page app on top of it, but you know, you can obviously tap that down. So that's V9, and well, I'm gonna have another software update tonight, so I'm curious to know what it is, because if it's the driver's dash nav update, I would not be surprised. But that means Tesla's on top of it, so either people heard or they tested and realized that it was a bit of an issue, and if it's not, I don't know what it will be. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna try to post this, well, today / tonight, and maybe get the update out tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But that's about it. That's V9 for a 2014 P85. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.